Light-skinned Sherlock Holmes is back for yet another appearance on the season of BuzzFeed Unsolved. So far, we're 2 for 2. We are 2 for 2. We got a perfect score. All right, we solved the case of George Reeves, and we solved the case of Agatha Christie. We are a perfect score. We have not lost yet. We have not left the case unsolved. Today, we have the menacing case of the monster with 21 faces. Apparently, we're sitting here investigating Beast Boy and shapeshifters, so this one should be a real doozy, man. Should be able to see it now.
This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we examine a candy-centric crime wave that struck Japan in the 80s. The multifaceted story of the monster with 21 faces. On March 18th, 1984, Kahatsuisa Ezaki, the head of Japanese candy manufacturer Ezaki Glico, was enjoying an evening bath in his home in Osaka. Suddenly, 2 hooded, armed assailants broke into his home and kidnapped the naked Ezaki. The next day, a ransom note.
Nice, man. Imagine just being butt naked, vibing in a bubble bath, and 2 dudes just walk in and kidnap you, dude. Nice.
And Ezaki's company Glico turn over 1 billion yen and 100 kilograms of gold in a specified phone booth, the equivalent of $10 million today. This guy gets kidnapped while taking a bath. He's naked. What's your move? You're pretty vulnerable. I have a couple things that jump to mind.
Okay.
Just start peeing on him.
To bring this to this place so quickly.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna shit the bath.
What I would do, and this is what
exactly, bro. Make like a monkey. Make like a monkey and just start throwing your shit everywhere.
Always.
I'm telling you.
Make sure that I have to pee. That way, if an assailant jumps into the bathroom, I could jump out of the tub and just start spraying him with my piss.
That's what I said.
Scarface, basically.
That's what I said.
Hey! You want to mess with me, you cockroaches?
And then you just casually stride out of it.
2 days later, before any ransom was paid, Ezaki escaped. At least one account related his break for freedom in dramatic detail, describing how before dawn, the bound Ezaki managed to work his ropes loose, break down a door of the isolated warehouse he was kept in, and find 2 railroad employees to help him contact police, while still wearing clothes his assailants had given him.
Oh, okay, I was gonna ask, bro. I feel like this would be even more impressive if he was still butt naked at this point.
Unfortunately, Ezaki had no idea who his captors were. Though their plan to ransom Ezaki had collapsed, the people behind the kidnapping didn't let that keep them down for long. The perpetrators next demanded $480,000, threatening to poison Glico candies with cyanide if they didn't receive the money. Adding credibility to their threats, the group then reportedly snuck into Glico headquarters to set some of their property on fire.
My
I love the
God.
plan here.
Yeah.
I really respect that. I'm wondering if I should be rooting for these people. I think I am. Not because I think it's good to poison the public, but
Okay, glad you cleared that up.
I don't agree with that.
Oh, I think we watched a video about this a while ago. Right, they were putting cyanide in candy that was being sold on store shelves or
Not
some
poison
shit.
the public.
I think we watched something about this a while ago.
Stay with me here.
Despite a growing list of crimes, authorities were at a loss to pin responsibility on whoever was targeting Glico. In the 1980s, a case stymieing Japanese police like this was a relative rarity. To get an idea of how effective the police in Japan were, in 1983, they solved 97.1% of the murder cases and 55.3% of
Bro, them
deaths,
cops is on demon
compared
time.
to the US's 73.5% of murders
Just
and
flexing on us.
17.3% of thefts. Failing to get to the bottom of the Glico case was a black eye on the police's reputation. One
suck,
newspaper, Yomiuri, ran an editorial saying, quote, "We do not recall a case in which criminals have made such fools of the police," end quote. Unfortunately for the cops, their situation only became more embarrassing. Perhaps no one was more upset at the police's lack of progress on the case than the criminals themselves. On April 8th, the press received one of the first of what would be over 100 letters sent by the perpetrators over the next year and a half. The letter taunted the police and even tried to help them do their job. It began, quote, "To the stupid police, are you idiots? What are you doing with so many people? If you were
Nice.
pros, you would catch us. Because you guys have such a high
Nice.
handicap, we're gonna give you some hints." End quote.
Bro, these dudes are real goons, bro. They literally hit up the cops in the DMs and said, "Hey, listen, you dumbass motherfuckers, y'all suck at your job, so we'll help you out in catching us." Like, nice, man. Real nice, bro.
The letter proceeded to debunk a few theories,
I need to
such as the
recruit
kidnapping
these dudes for my supervillain squad, bro, because this is the type of demons I
being an
need.
inside job, or the owners of the warehouse Ezaki escaped from being involved. The letter writer also gave police more clues, informing them that the car they used was gray and naming the grocery store where they bought their food. The letter continued, quote, "If you can't catch us after this much info, you guys are just thieves of the taxpayers' money. Should we also kidnap the head of the prefectural police?" End quote. Letters from the group continued to pour in. The group showed a knack for getting the public's attention and leveraged the media to ensure their threats and crimes were widely reported. Critics at the time categorized their actions as gekijo hansai, or crime as theater. The letters often provided authorities with seemingly random details, such as the gate used to enter a factory or the model of typewriter they were writing on. None of the clues provided in the notes, however, went anywhere, causing the police to look more and more incompetent. Almost all the evidence actually left behind at the crime scenes was either stolen or mass-produced, meaning tracking the group down remained impossible. One clue about the letters themselves, however, stood out. The dialect in which they were written pointed to someone from Osaka. Though this linguistic theory was interesting, it did not help authorities get any closer to apprehending the people responsible.
Bro,
By
imagine if this was in America, bro. Imagine, like, right, they showed the comparison, right? The Japanese police are significantly better at solving thefts and homicides and stuff like that. These motherfuckers were literally given hints and still couldn't solve it. Imagine if this was the America, bro. With our dumbasses, bro, we wouldn't even came anywhere close, dude.
June,
They still would
the
probably
criminals
be
had begun referring to
running
themselves in
around.
letters as the monster with the 21 faces, a nod to a 1936 children's story by Japanese writer Edogawa Rampo entitled The Mystery Man with the 20 Faces. The Mystery Man with the 20 Faces is about a thief, quote, stirring up the newspapers every day, end quote, and is so adept at disguises that they could be anyone. One excerpt from the story seemed particularly descriptive of the group targeting Glico. Quote, "Up until now, no matter how many police have been called up, they haven't been able to stop this dreadful gang. There is one particularly strange feature of this gang. When they have set their sights on one particular object or artifact, without fail, they will send a letter of warning announcing their intentions, the date, place, and object of the planned crime. Even though they're criminals, perhaps they don't want to engage in an unfair battle. Or perhaps they want to show that no matter how many precautions are taken, they can still commit the crime with their great skill." I'm beginning to
So
wrap
they're
my
giving
head
you
around why the
warnings
police are so
too.
effective at their
Dude.
job. If I'm a child hearing this story, by September 1984, another Japanese confectioner, Morinaga and Company, began to receive extortion letters threatening unspecified action if the sender did not receive $410,000. According to police, Morinaga never sent the payment. On October 8th, Japanese newspapers received the following letter. Quote, "To moms throughout Japan. In autumn, when appetites are strong, sweets are really delicious. When you think sweets, no matter what you say, it's Morinaga. We've added some special flavor. The flavor of potassium cyanide is a little bitter. It won't cause tooth decay, so buy the sweets for your kids. We've attached a notice on these bitter sweets that they contain poison. We've put 20 boxes in stores, from Hakata to Tokyo. The same day, packages of cookies and candy were found in grocery stores throughout Japan, with typewritten labels attached reading, quote, danger, cyanide, end quote.
Nice.
In total, 18 packages.
Dude, bro, these dudes are on a whole different level of demon timing, bro. They literally were like, hey, give us money or we're poisoning your candy. And then they didn't get the money, so they poisoned the candy. And then they told everybody, hey, by the way, we poisoned the candy. And we gonna tell you which candy we poisoned. Like, bro, these dudes do not care. They do not give a this is psychotic, bro. Like what?
Danger, cyanide, end quote. In total, 18 packages were discovered and tested.
Oh, what
One
about the
found
two?
at a supermarket only 35 yards away from the home Kahatsuisa Ezaki was kidnapped from. While not all the labeled packages were found to contain cyanide, at least one had enough to kill someone. Perhaps because of the warnings, no one ever consumed any of the tainted candy. The letter warning of the tainted sweets, however, said that next time there would be 30 boxes and they would not be labeled. For the next 2 weekends, it's reported about 40,000 officers staked out grocery stores across the country. The stakeouts yielded nothing, though thankfully it doesn't appear the group went through with their latest threat. Investigators did, however, find surveillance video from October 7th showing a suspect with permed hair, glasses, and a baseball hat placing something on a shelf where poisoned candy was later found. Unfortunately, the camera was bad, the lighting was poor, and the security tape hadn't been changed for over a year, meaning the quality of the image wasn't great. Images of this man, known as Bideo no Otoko, or Video Man, were released to the public, but he was never found. In addition to this grainy videotape, some phone calls attempting to extort money and purportedly placed by the monster were released to the public. Disturbingly, the voices on the tapes were not those of hardened gangsters, but of a woman and a child. At one point, the child is heard giving instructions to leave money, quote, behind the seat of the bus stop bench, end quote.
What?
While the phone recordings never resulted in any arrests, it did provoke the public to reconsider just who the monster could be.
Nice. It's a gang of like 5th graders, dude. It's a gang. They're mad as hell because they can't eat any of the candy. So if they can't eat the candy, then nobody can, bro. They got grounded by their mama. So they decide, it's like, okay, so we can't eat candy, nobody can eat candy. And it's just like a gang of delinquent 5th graders just trolling the hell out of Japan,
the
bro.
public to reconsider
Like,
just
what
who
is
the
this?
monster could be. By March of 1985, a year after the first kidnapping, 31 food and candy companies had been harassed, and Japan's finest were still baffled by the case. Sometimes, a company being extorted would actually pull together the money demanded. The monster with 21 faces, however, always refused to pick the money up, correctly assuming police would be waiting for them. In one instance, 21 Faces instructed Glico representatives to wait for a phone call at a truck stop. Plainclothes policemen went instead, and no call ever came. The next letter from 21 Faces read, quote, "So you guys thought you could fool us, dressed up in your nice businessmen's blue suits,
Nice,
acting
dude.
like
They're
salarymen?"
just trolling at this point, bro. Dude, come on. Now they're like, oh, hey, by the way, we're not dumb. We know that you sent the cops after. Bro, these dudes are good. Nah, bro. Like, I never thought that I would stand a criminal organization, dude, but these dudes are crazy, bro.
Dressed up in your nice businessmen's blue suits,
Like,
acting like
what?
salarymen? But we could tell immediately. Those shifty eyes gave you away. End quote. Yeah, They said, get dunked on, dorks.
Damn, dude.
Must have taken
Dude,
a lot of
these
time
dudes
to
are
go to
good,
your
bro.
local party city to pick those suits up,
That's
but we're a little too smart for that. I like a little trash talk, too. At every turn, the monster with 21 faces seemed a step ahead. On the flip side, according to police, the group never received any of the money demanded. On August 12th, 1985, a year and a half after they first kidnapped a Candyman from his bathtub, the monster with 21 faces sent their last letter, announcing they would stop. By this time, according to Japan's National Police Agency, authorities had received over 28,000 tips and had used over 130,000 police officers. With a stack of letters, a laundry list of crimes, and a humiliated police agency, it's time to look at the theories surrounding who could have been the monster with 21 faces.
Okay, here's the theory, right? Here's my theory. This is a criminal organization. This is a group of living, breathing demons who were bored as fuck and decided to troll all of Japan, bro. That's it. That's literally it, dude. There's no other answer. Because, dude, that's literally all it could be. It's just a group of dudes, and they're just tormenting all of Japan and trolling the police officers, bro. That's literally it, bro. Like, it's pretty clear cut to me.
Is that the monster with 21 faces was an inside job, and that Katsuhisa Ezaki was in on it from the start. This theory was popular at the beginning of the crime wave, and seems to derive mainly from people's disbelief that Ezaki was able to escape his kidnappers. There's never been any actual evidence to back this theory up, though some might find it suspicious that Morinaga's candy was poisoned, while Glico's was only threatened to be. Casting doubt on this theory is the fact that even with no cyanide being discovered in their products, Glico's business was greatly affected by the whole ordeal. At one point, after the monster with 21 faces publicly threatened to poison Glico candy, all of Glico products were pulled from shelves, forcing the company to shut down production temporarily and lay off 2/3 of their part-time employees. I do think it's a little much to think that this guy...
I don't think he was in on it at all. I don't think he was in on it at all. Why would you want the public to know you as the candy company that's got cyanide laced and poisoned candy? That's not good for your business. I don't think he was in on it at all.
Just because
Absolutely
he managed
not.
to escape. I think
this is
aren't exactly
this is
violent
like
criminals
an
per se.
individual
So when they
group
actually have
acting
a
on their
kidnapped
own.
person, they were like, oh, fuck, what do we actually do? They tied him up with like an extension cord or something.
Yeah.
Our second theory is that the monster with 21 faces was someone seeking revenge on Japan's food companies. Almost 30 years before 21 Faces sent their first letter in mid-1955, a stabilizing agent in Morinaga-produced dry milk accidentally contained the poison arsenic. By June 1956, over 12,000 infants had been injured, and 138 had died. Morinaga reached a settlement with the families of the affected infants, but a 1969 report showed that the survivors continued to suffer related ailments. By the time the monster with 21 faces began its campaign, the victims of the dry milk incident would have been almost 30, and perhaps ready to seek revenge on the company.
I think this plays into what I'm saying. Maybe that's their motive. Maybe that this criminal group, this criminal organization, maybe they all were they were all victims of this milk shit, and they decided to seek revenge, so they started trolling the cops. And yes, I do stand these criminals. Yes, I do not condone this type of behavior, bro, but when you achieve the things that these dudes achieve, you can't help but admire it. How do you terrify an entire country? You stump and baffle an entire police force of that country and never get caught. and giving them hints and giving them a heads up, and you still never get caught? Like, that's badass.
That made their early years so difficult. This theory, however, doesn't account for why 21 Faces targeted the entire industry instead of just Morinaga. Our final and best theory is that a man named Manabu Miyazaki was at the very least somehow involved. In November 1984, after the cyanide-poisoned confections showed the monster with 21 faces meant business, 100 million yen were set to be turned over to the criminals in Kyoto. Police surveilling the drop-off spotted a suspicious, quote, fox-eyed man, and gave chase. The suspect eluded capture, but police did manage to find the stolen car he had been driving, complete with a police scanner inside.
Fox-eyed man.
See, that's how they always knew the cops were there. That's how they was listening.
Obviously,
Dude, these guys are good.
Here. No. And he's just bouncing off.
Maybe if they did to all food companies, it wouldn't look suspicious. Like, if it was just milk, it would be easier to find suspects. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah, because if you're just targeting the one company for this one reason, then all you got to do is look at the people who... You just got to find people who were affected by that specific milk incident, and then your list is narrowed down. Yeah. So they probably spread out their malicious plot to cover their tracks a whole lot more. Yeah.
The walls are running circles.
Usain Bolt onto the team.
Yeah. In January, authorities released a sketch of the fox-eyed man, leading to his identification as Manabu Miyazaki. The sketch was apparently so true to life that even Miyazaki's own mother believed it was him. That mother, by the way, happened to be from Osaka. The son of a Yakuza boss, Miyazaki was a known criminal who had organized of a Yakuza boss. That mother, by the way, happened to be from Osaka. The son of a Yakuza boss.
He's the son of a Yakuza boss. Yeah, bro, this guy is, yeah,
Miyazaki
dude.
was a known criminal who had organized anti-police actions in college and had already been arrested several times. While it appeared that police had finally made a face-saving break in the case, charges were never brought against Miyazaki. Miyazaki apparently had a rock-solid alibi, and no hard evidence was ever turned up to tie him back to the case. Miyazaki went on to write a memoir detailing his life of crime. The book was released shortly after the statute of limitations for the man with 21 faces.
And he used the drawing, dude. That's a flex.
The sketch police released while trying to track
that's
Miyazaki
baller
down.
Shit, bro.
Though he confessed to other crimes in the book,
dude.
Miyazaki never mentioned any involvement in the 21 Faces spree. If Miyazaki was on his way to pick up the extorted 100 million yen when police gave chase, he did eventually get his money. The book went on to earn the known criminal over 100 million yen. A year after Katsuhisa Ezaki was first kidnapped, the Japanese Ministry of Agriculture claimed sweets consumption across the country was down 10%. Both Ezaki, Glico, and Morinaga suffered massive losses in sales. In Morinaga's case, perhaps even 60%. In the end, the monster with 21 faces got away with it. Even with the statute of limitations expired, no one has come forward to admit to the crime. Unless the real face behind these crimes decides to someday reveal itself, the identities of the monster with 21 faces remains unsolved.
All right, here's what happened. Here's what happened. I don't think it was one person. Okay, I don't think it was a monster with 21 faces. I think it was about 5 or 6 of them, or however many. I think it was a whole group of people. And you can combine those two last theories with what I said, bro. The dude, right, on the third theory, right, that one guy, the son of the Yakuza boss, he could be part of that group. Like, he could very well be one of the dudes that was involved. And then if you think of the second one, right, that could be the motive for the group. Maybe one of them, some of them, or all of them were affected by that milk crisis, right? So they decided to exact their revenge, right? You could combine those, but in reality, I think it was a whole group of people, because there's no way one dude could plant all those boxes in all of those stores, and he knew, like, whenever the cops were going to show up, when they were going to pick up the money and stuff, you know what I mean? So I don't think it was one dude. I think it was a whole group, and they wanted revenge for the milk thing, so they decided to incite mass chaos and anarchy upon the entire country of Japan, poisoning these candies and then trolling the hell out of the cops, bro. And I think that guy was involved because they said he hates cops. He organized like a bunch of anti-cop movements and groups and stuff like that. So he is probably the mastermind behind trolling, bro. He was probably the one being like, hey, here's a hint. Hey, I'm going to give you a heads up. We're going to poison this. You know what I mean? So I feel like, yeah, he probably could be involved. But I think it most definitely was a group. And I think that they're just a criminal group. And they got away with the absolute most perfect crime, bro. Like, there is no crime I think of that could be better than this, dude. Because how do you do something on this large of a scale and give away that many pieces of evidence and those hints and still not one single person ever got charged for anything, dude? Like, they couldn't even charge somebody for poisoning candy or nothing, bro. They had a dude on video, they couldn't find him. They had a dude 5 feet in front of them and he did the dash, dipped on him, got away, bro. Like that was the most perfect crime, dude. And I do not condone criminal activity, bro. But I have to admire what these dudes was doing, bro, because this was on another level. Boom, case closed. Case closed. It was a group of criminal genius masterminds. One of them was probably that dude. The identities of everybody else will most likely never, ever be uncovered. But I still count it as a W. Boom, I solved it. It was a group. Just figure out who the group is. Boom, there you go.